Paul Newman, Hollywood's ultimate leading man, wasn't just a master of charm and charisma. He was also a gatekeeper to some of the industry's most closely guarded secrets. Behind the perfectly tailored suits, the box office hits, and the red carpet smiles, Newman revealed a truth that Hollywood had gone to extraordinary lengths to hide. Several of the Golden Age's most iconic stars were secretly gay. These weren't just idle rumors whispered in gossip columns. They were carefully suppressed realities known to only a handful of insiders. Today, we're peeling back the velvet curtain to reveal the hidden lives of the stars you thought you knew. Welcome back. Classic Hollywood wasn't just glamour, it was secrecy and tightly managed personas. Paul Newman exposed the truth about stars whose real lives didn't fit the studio image. These stories reveal the hidden struggles behind the iconic era. Here are 20 Golden Age stars who were secretly gay, or whose sexuality Hollywood worked tirelessly to erase from public consciousness as revealed by Paul Newman himself. 20. Rock Hudson. Rock Hudson, the embodiment of Hollywood masculinity, built a career on charm, talent, and an image crafted by the studios with meticulous care. While audiences fell for his on-screen romances, Newman noted that Hudson's private life was far more complex. Studio publicists arranged dates, monitored press interactions, and created elaborate narratives to shield him from scrutiny. Behind the scenes, Hudson navigated secret relationships within a tight-knit circle of trusted friends, relying on discretion for survival. Until the AIDS crisis made his truth impossible to hide, the world saw only the illusion, never the deeply vulnerable man behind it. 19. Montgomery Clift. Montgomery Clift captured audiences with his raw emotional depth, often playing characters wrestling with inner conflict, mirroring his own private struggles. Newman explained that Clift lived under immense pressure to conceal his sexuality, especially during the height of the studio system's control. Friends served as vital protectors, helping him maintain privacy while he battled personal demons and industry expectations. Clift's life became a delicate balance of authenticity and survival, shaped by an era where exposure could destroy even the most revered careers. 18. Liberace. Liberace dazzled the world with extravagant performances, glittering costumes, and a personality that seemed larger than life. But behind all the glamour existed a carefully guarded truth that insiders like Newman understood well. His sexuality was an open secret within Hollywood circles, yet the public remained completely unaware due to relentless image management. Studios viewed him as a financial goldmine, one whose success depended on maintaining a wholesome, flamboyant, but safe persona, so they worked tirelessly to silence rumors and bury speculation. Interviews were controlled, stories were redirected, and tabloids were pressured into compliance. Only years later, through lawsuits, shifting cultural attitudes, and Liberace's own gradual revelations, did the world finally glimpse the vulnerable, complex man hidden beneath the sequins and spectacle. 17. Tab Hunter. Tab Hunter's wholesome looks and boy-next-door charm made him a studio favorite, but Newman revealed the lengths taken to protect his private life. Publicists arranged photo ops, orchestrated dates with actresses, and shaped interviews to maintain his heterosexual image. These fabrications weren't frivolous, they were vital shields in a Hollywood where exposure could end everything. Hunter relied on a trusted few who knew his truth, creating a life divided between studio-crafted illusion and the quiet authenticity he shared only with confidants. 16. Anthony Perkins. Anthony Perkins, immortalized as Norman Bates in Psycho, lived a life defined by contrast. On screen, he delivered psychologically rich performances. Off-screen, Newman recalled, he was forced into a carefully constructed persona. Studios controlled interviews, curated his romantic image, and ensured journalists never probed too deeply. Perkins maintained discreet relationships, always mindful of the risks. His life revealed the cost of navigating fame in an era when a star's true identity, especially one involving queerness, had to remain hidden for survival. 15. James Dean. James Dean became a symbol of rebellion and emotional intensity, but Newman insisted that the public only saw a fraction of who he truly was. Behind the myth of the brooding icon were private relationships the studios worked hard to keep out of public view. Dean's sexuality, fluid and complex, would have clashed with the carefully sculpted image Hollywood needed to sell. Close friends were entrusted with the truth, forming a protective barrier around a young star navigating fame's harsh spotlight. 14. Rock Hudson's early co-stars. Paul Newman emphasized that Rock Hudson was far from the only actor living under the weight of secrecy. Many of his early co-stars operated within the same underground network of closeted performers shaped by agents, producers, and studio contracts. These friendships created a covert community built on discretion, solidarity, and shared risk. While the public saw glamorous premieres and perfect publicity photos, these actors were managing hidden relationships and constant fear, protected only by one another and the silent pact they all understood. 13. Cary Grant. Cary Grant projected effortless elegance, sophistication, and charm, qualities the studios fiercely protected. Newman shared that behind Grant's many public romances and marriages were private relationships that remained invisible to the press. Grant maintained strict boundaries, relying on carefully controlled appearances to keep curiosity at bay. Studios reinforced this image, knowing his allure depended on maintaining a traditional narrative. Grant's life became a study in contrasts, a man adored worldwide, yet compelled to keep essential parts of himself hidden. 12. Rock Hudson and his circle. Hudson's hidden social world was far more expansive than the public ever imagined. Newman spoke of clandestine parties, private gatherings, and intimate networks of friends who shared the same need for secrecy. These connections weren't merely social, they were lifelines, offering companionship and acceptance in a hostile climate. Though invisible to the public, these networks allowed stars like Hudson to experience moments of authenticity, even as they outwardly performed roles crafted to align with Hollywood's rigid expectations. 11. John Garfield. John Garfield built his career on intense, rugged characters, but Newman remembered him as someone constantly navigating a dangerous dual existence. In a conservative era, Garfield had to manage personal truths with extraordinary caution, confiding only in a select few. Studios helped maintain his image, but the constant vigilance took its toll. His story highlights the emotional strain of sustaining secrecy, particularly for actors whose public personas relied on hypermasculinity, revealing how deeply Hollywood's expectations could shape and distort a life. 10. Tab Hunter's studio dates. Newman revealed that many of Tab Hunter's widely publicized dates were nothing more than studio inventions designed to protect his rising star. Public outings with actresses became strategic performances, complete with photographers and scripted interactions. Behind closed doors, Hunter lived a profoundly different life, supported by trusted friends who understood the stakes. These orchestrations underscore Hollywood's obsession with image control, showing how the industry manufactured romance to conceal truths that society was not yet prepared to accept. 9. Rock Hudson's media management. The studios went to extraordinary lengths to maintain Rock Hudson's carefully constructed persona. According to Newman, this included staged photographs, meticulously planned interviews, and contractual clauses dictating acceptable public behavior. Even minor press leaks were swiftly extinguished by studio fixers. This elaborate machinery not only built Hudson's career, but also imprisoned him in an identity he could never fully inhabit. The efficiency with which Hollywood concealed truth proves how deeply invested it was in selling fantasy over reality. 8. Montgomery Clift's allies. Montgomery Clift relied heavily on a small circle of allies who understood the pressures he endured. Newman explained that these friendships were not merely emotional bonds, they were essential forms of protection. In a world where vulnerability could be weaponized, Clift's friends helped him maintain privacy, navigate mental health struggles, and withstand studio demands. Their discretion created a buffer between Clift and a ruthless system, revealing how crucial solidarity was for queer performers living under the threat of exposure. 7. Anthony Perkins, quiet courage. Perkins lived with a quiet bravery that Newman deeply admired. Though he could never live openly, he formed meaningful private relationships and crafted a delicate balance between authenticity and self-preservation. Every public appearance was a performance beyond the roles he played on screen. Navigating Hollywood required immense intelligence and restraint, as even small missteps could destroy his career. His story reflects the courage it took to survive in an era when honesty could mean professional and personal ruin. 6. Liberace's legal battles. Liberace's lawsuits underscore Hollywood's complex dance between illusion and truth. As Newman noted, even though insiders knew his sexuality, he fought aggressively and publicly to deny allegations that threatened his career. These trials were performances in themselves, reinforcing the divide between public persona and private identity. They reveal how the era forced queer stars into impossible positions, either protect the fantasy or risk everything. Liberace's battles remain a powerful example of how deeply the industry policed its own myths. 5. James Dean's confidants. James Dean's close friends played a crucial role in preserving the parts of his life that Hollywood insisted on concealing. Newman recalled that these confidants bore real emotional responsibility, shielding a young actor still discovering himself amid meteoric fame. Their loyalty allowed Dean to experience personal freedom behind closed doors, even as his public image was curated for mass consumption. These friendships highlight the hidden infrastructure necessary for queer actors to survive under the glare of mid-century stardom. 4. Cary Grant's privacy. Cary Grant's survival strategy depended on strict control over who had access to his personal life. Newman explained that Grant created a firm boundary between his true self and the carefully sculpted persona sold to the world. This separation was essential for navigating studio demands and societal expectations. In private, Grant fostered genuine relationships, but he guarded them fiercely. His story reveals the psychological cost of maintaining dual identities in a rigid, image-driven industry. 3. Rock Hudson's AIDS revelation. Hudson's AIDS diagnosis exposed the devastating consequences of decades spent living in secrecy. Newman saw how the crisis forced Hollywood and the world to confront realities it had long ignored. When Hudson's illness became public, the shock was immense, challenging the image that studios had carefully upheld. His bravery in acknowledging his diagnosis made him a reluctant pioneer, humanizing the crisis and changing public perception. Hudson's final years symbolized both the cruelty of enforced silence and the power of truth. 2. The hidden gay community in Hollywood. Newman described an entire underground ecosystem of actors, writers, and insiders who supported one another through secrecy. This hidden community provided emotional refuge in an industry that demanded conformity. They shared advice, designated safe spaces, and developed unspoken rules that allowed them to survive public life while maintaining private authenticity. These networks illustrate that while Hollywood imposed silence, queer performers created their own forms of resilience, forming bonds that sustained them through fear and isolation. 1. The legacy of secrecy. Newman's ultimate message was clear. Hollywood's golden age was built on illusion, not truth. For LGBTQ+ actors, secrecy was not a choice but a necessity imposed by societal prejudice and studio control. The stars he spoke of weren't living double lives out of shame. They were protecting their careers, their safety, and sometimes their very survival. Their stories highlight the extraordinary resilience required to navigate an industry that demanded perfection while punishing authenticity. Their hidden lives remain an integral, often overlooked part of Hollywood history. The golden age of Hollywood wasn't just glamour, it was a maze of secrets and carefully crafted illusions. Paul Newman's revelations show how much of the truth was hidden, especially for stars whose identities didn't fit the era's expectations. From Rock Hudson to James Dean, their lives reveal the struggle between authenticity and survival. Hollywood was a stage, on and off camera, and these stories remind us that behind the legends were people fighting to live honestly in a world that wouldn't let them. If you enjoyed this dive into Hollywood's secret histories, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more untold stories from the golden age of cinema. Behind the glamour lies the truth, and it's always more fascinating than fiction.